Choosing the right eye cream can be very, very difficult. There's so much information out there and it's such an individualized choice that it sometimes can be super overwhelming. So in today's video, as an eye doctor, I'm gonna go over the things that I would look for in eye creams, as well as what to avoid. All that and more, so stay tuned. Welcome to Eye School with Dr. D, where my goal is to arm you with the knowledge you need to take control of your eye health and have the best vision possible. Like and subscribe for videos every week. Hi, I'm Dr. D. I'm a doctor of optometry with my own private practice. I'm residency trained in ocular disease and I'm a dry eye specialist. Here on Eye School with Dr. D, I post educational videos about eye health as well as vision products. So if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing because I'd love to see you every week. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to choose the right eye cream for you and some common pitfalls to avoid. All right, pupils, it's time to go to eye school. So let's first go over a brief history of why you would even want to use an eye cream. Now, I actually made a video very recently about how to get rid of under eye circles, where I talk about the three main blunders or problems that we're typically trying to cover up or address when we're using creams and products around the eye. So make sure to check out that video here and then come back to this one for a little bit more in-depth information about creams. But if you don't go see that, I'll just give you a little synopsis. So usually if we're looking at applying a cream around the eye, my first question would be why? What are you trying to address? The first thing we're usually trying to address is like a bluishness or purpleness and dark circles underneath the eye. And that's coming from either excess vasculature underneath the eye, more prominent vessels that are underneath this thin skin there. It can be shadowing. There's lots of different causes, but we're trying to treat color is one option. The second is bags or inflammation or puffiness under the eyes. And then the third thing that can happen is aging and wrinkles and fine lines. So the first question, of course, is what are you trying to treat? Are you trying to get rid of wrinkles, fine lines? Are you trying to mitigate, redness or bluishness that comes through causing, dark circles for you? Or are you trying to take care of puffiness? Because what you're trying to fix is going to dictate the direction you go in your cream. So just to summarize, really first think about what you're trying to correct and why you might be using an eye cream in the first place, and go back and watch my video about under eye circles because I go in depth on the types of ingredients you're looking for to correct the specific problem that you're having in the eye area. The second thing I want to go into are the actual ingredients that I would recommend trying to stay away from, trying to avoid. I want to start this part of the video with a little bit of a disclaimer though, because I did a lot of research and watched a lot of videos from YouTubers that I really respect what they have to say and that really give good information. So two of those YouTubers are Dr. Dre. She's a dermatologist that has a great video about why the clean beauty movement needs to die. And then there's also Cassandra Bankson, she has several videos on eye creams and why they're often a scam, in her opinion. And she also just gives a lot of great information on the science behind eye creams. And so to start with, I watched those videos, and those are sort of the base of what we're talking about today. But I am going to diverge from those YouTubers just a little bit because of who I am and what I do. So Dr. Dre is a dermatologist, Cassandra Bankson is an esthetician, and I'm an optometrist who specializes in dry eye. And so this video is truly for you if you tend to have ocular issues, like specifically dry eye, ocular surface disease, allergies, allergic dermatitis around the eyes. Because the videos that they made are extremely valid, and especially like a lot of Dr. Dre's points are that there's all these banned ingredients that aren't necessarily bad, in her opinion, from like a skincare perspective. However, when it comes to eye care, the thing about the periorbital area here is that anything applied in that region does tend to make its way to the ocular surface. And from a cellular perspective, the ocular surface is sort of a different situation than the dermis and epidermis of the skin. And some of these same ingredients that Dr. Dre would say are fine on the skin, I wouldn't disagree with her. But when they reach the ocular surface, that's where we can see more prominent effects. And so some of these things you may have watched other videos and said, hey, well, this doctor said these are fine. But I just wanted you to know that that's why I diverge. And when we do talk about the ocular surface, it is more sensitive and it's just a different cellular situation. So to summarize, I've got no skin in the game, only eyeballs. So bad. So bad, it's good. Okay, let's go over it. So you've already looked at the reason you're choosing an eye cream. You've given some thought to that. You've watched my other video. And now the next thing I want you to do is to flip over the eye cream that you're looking at and take a look at your ingredient list. Most of the time, what we're concerned about in our eye creams are preservatives, okay? But it's important to really think about the risk-benefit ratio here. Preservatives are really important. Without preservatives in eye cream, it's possible to grow all kinds of nasty things within that bottle that would cause way worse eye conditions than having a preservative. So it's not always that you just want something that has no preservative at all, because preservative is very necessary to keep things shelf stable that you can use for months at a time. But that being said, looking at the preservatives is also going to be really important if you have some degree of dryness or eye irritation, because it could be that you're more sensitive to a certain preservative than another. So the major ones would be to look for parabens, BAK, phenoxyethanol, formaldehyde or formaldehyde releasing or donating chemicals. And that's it. So all of these things have their pros and their cons. And in those other videos by dermatologists and estheticians, they will talk about how parabens really aren't as bad as they've been made out to be and how for the most part they're safe on skin. But when it comes to the ocular surface, there have been studies that show that all of these different ingredients do cause epithelial loss and breakdown of the ocular surface. And that can lead to not only irritation, but dryness, more dryness of the eyes. And when you start with a dry eye or an irritated eye, putting these things near the eye can make your symptoms even worse. So I'm going to use my notes a little bit because I wrote down some of the studies that are relevant and I'm not possibly going to be able to remember every word of it. In 2018, we have a study by Chen et al. That says preservatives typically found in cosmetics compromise the ocular surface. Even at low levels, BAK or benzalkonium chloride can kill the meibomian cells at 1 day. So parabens. Parabens are associated with meibomian gland dysfunction. They decrease the release of meibum oil from the glands. And some examples of those would be butylparaben or methylparaben or propylparaben. BAK, it's a preservative found in eye drops, glaucoma medications, eyeliner, mascara, makeup remover, face wash. It is everywhere, but we know that BAK is toxic to the ocular surface. It destabilizes the lipid layer. And we know that 41% of primary open-angle glaucoma patients who have to use glaucoma drops every day that are preserved with BAK, 41% of those folks end up having ocular surface disease. So dryness results from the effects that BAK and preservatives have on the ocular surface. Basically, we're throwing off the homeostasis, the so critical homeostasis of the ocular surface, resulting in this irritation, chronic inflammation, and dry eye symptoms. So phenoxyethanol can be found in moisturizers, sunscreens, soaps, and makeup remover, and can cause skin dermatitis, ocular irritation, stinging, and burning. Formaldehyde donating or releasing products can cause contact dermatitis, allergic reactions, skin and ocular surface irritation. All right, so ultimately, one point to make is that you don't have to have a specific eye cream, so it is totally fine to just find a really good facial moisturizer that has ingredients that don't cause your eyes irritation or your area around your eyes irritation, and use that for your eye cream, because there truly a lot of times isn't a lot of difference between the eye cream ingredients and facial cream ingredients. So that's one takeaway from today, and kind of a pro tip is that it is totally okay to expand your selection to the facial cream aisle and choose your best cream from that aisle. Beyond that, flip that label over, and if there's a paraben on the ingredient list, that may be okay for you. It is okay to try different eye creams, but like I tell patients who have headaches to keep a headache diary to find their triggers, I would say if you have some ocular surface irritation, if you're a dry eye patient, you're trying to find the right eye cream that moisturizes and doesn't cause irritation, then keep an eye cream diary and write down the ingredients that are in each kind that you try. That way you can find if there's a specific ingredient that causes your eyes more irritation than others. Lastly, there are products that avoid all of these specific ingredients, all of these preservatives, and they do exist. One company that I believe is free of them is IQ. This is an optometrist-owned company. They did send me these products, but this is not a sponsored video. But definitely check out this line because these are IQ Organics. They have a range of cleansers and moisturizers, and they're designed with the eyes in mind. The other brand that is really safe is Eyes Are the Story. It is free of all of the things we talked about today, and just a really, really gentle brand that I've had a lot of success with in my dry eye patients. Ultimately, finding an eye cream can be a little confusing and can be difficult, but keep flipping those labels over, writing down ingredients, and avoiding the things we talked about. And if you have eye irritation, you should call a doctor. If you are already seeing a dry eye specialist, just bring in your eye cream. Bring in anything you're thinking of using and show it to your doctor so that they can use their critical eye on the ingredients list as well. I hope that was helpful to you guys. Eye creams can certainly be really difficult, so leave your comments for me down in the comments below, and we'll start a conversation about the best eye creams you've ever found. All right, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. I'm here every single week, and I'll see you next time.